This week, we're going to take a look at how they count the audience in the business. This is 5 Minutes for Filmmakers. Hello, this is another episode of 5 Minutes for Filmmakers. I'm Mike Lakoskis with Disobedient Productions. Once again, this week our show is being brought to you by the Florida Independent Filmmakers. This week we found a great article out on Filmmaker IQ talking about how they count audience in the business. Not just movies, but also in television. And what some of those obscure terms you've heard over the years mean. And we're going to get into that right now. This week, out on Filmmaker IQ, we found a really great article by John Hess. He talks about how the business counts the audience, the number of people viewing something. Now, there's the things like, you've heard the term opening weekend, and they'll give you a number about what the opening weekend box office take was. But there's also a part of the video where he goes into television and the rating system and what things like share and points mean. He also goes and gives a nice little history lesson on one of the primary providers of ratings numbers in the industry, and that's Nielsen. He gives a little primer on the history of Nielsen and how that works and how that has evolved over the course of time. I found it to be a really nice explanation that gave just enough detail, didn't get too bogged down in what's very technical discussion, and really got right to the points that really matter, and gave me feel like I had a kind of basic understanding of how they do things and how they count things, and that's important if you're going to be making any kind of production, whether it's in film or for television. And you might want to stop by and see what he's got to say. Out on atasteofcinema.com, we found this nice little article called 10 Films That Can Teach You Everything You Need to Know About Cinematography. Well, maybe it's not everything, but you know what? It's a whole lot. And it's all really good information. The author goes into a great bit of detail about how these different films use things like lighting and focus, camera movement, color, even the lenses, the length of the shot, and the camera position itself to enhance the story that's being told. For anyone who is wanting to be a filmmaker or a cameraman or a director, it's a really good article to look and see what this author has to say about those sorts of things and using those elements to better tell the story. If you've got something you're going to shoot in the near future, you might want to take some time, go on out there and read this thing, and think about incorporating some of what he's saying into your next production. Out on nofilmschool.com, we've got a video of an interview with Roger Deakins. And he gets into a really protracted conversation about elements that he uses to find what he calls the essence of a scene. And he talks about the development of the shots, things like storyboarding, and how storyboarding sometimes is used to really frame out how your shoot's going to work, but other times you'll get on site and you'll take the storyboards and throw them right out the window. And they'll amount to have been something that gave you an idea to start with, but once you started developing that scene, that shot, that series of shots, everything that you had assumed on the storyboard isn't what you want to do anymore. It's not the right way to develop what it is you're trying to get up on the screen. It may give you some ideas about some things you might want to try next time out. Thank you so much for having watched this week's show. If you feel like we missed any stories that should have been called out, or we made any errors or misstatements on any of the stories we did do, please leave a comment below, or if you've got feedback, leave that there. Or you can contact me directly. I'm Mike at disobedientproductions.com, and we respond to those just as quickly as we can. My name's Mike Lakauskas with Disobedient Productions. This has been 5 Minutes for Filmmakers. Please keep filming.